Good morning. I'm going to call to order this meeting. It's the Elections and Rules Committee. It is August 2nd. My name is Jacob Fry. I'm the chair of this committee, and today I'm joined by a quorum of our council members, including council members Gordon, Cano, Glidden, Johnson, Yang, Quincy, and Palmisano. We are a quorum. We have one item on the agenda for today, which is a slight changing up of several of the polling locations that we have in the city in preparation for the 2017 elections. And here to present is Grace Walker-Loritz. Grace?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the council. My name is Grace Walker-Loritz, and I'm the Assistant City Clerk, Director of Elections and Voter Services. The Election Division has worked very hard at planning and preparing this year's municipal ranked choice voting election. As you know, Election Day is less than 100 days away. We are now in full election mode to administer a successful, accurate, secure, and transparent election. Notable activities are candidate filing, which started yesterday, August 1st, and will end on August 15th at 5 p.m. Our voter outreach and education team is actively engaging electoral participation and voter registration at city and local community events, including National Voter Registration Day on September 29th. Absentee voting will begin on September 22nd by mail or in person at our early vote center located at 217 South 3rd Street. And finally, the reason why I'm here before the committee is to designate the polling places for the 2017 municipal election. For your review and consideration, staff is recommending 5 poll locations to enhance capacity and accessibility. To better serve the voter, the following polling locations are recommended to be relocated. Ward 3, Precinct 5, Ward 5, Precinct 5, Ward 6, Precinct 6, Ward 7, Precinct 9, and Ward 12, Precinct 2. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff at this time? Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With regards to these changes, specifically in Ward 5, for the past 2 elections, we've had at least a change with regards to this specific precinct twice. And, I guess for me, I'm just thinking, with regards to those changes, does that have an impact on turnout? Or, did we see, a change in turnout from the last election where we changed the polling location?
Councilmember Yang, the purpose of changing any polling location is to better serve the voter, to enhance their experience as a voter in a particular location. We experienced in 2016 in these particular locations that it wasn't the best experience for the voters, and it will enhance and promote participation rather than hinder. We consider that very carefully. We also engage in the communities that are impacted to make sure that they are also comfortable with the relocation.
Right, and I absolutely understand the voting experience itself, but I guess for myself, I'd like to have folks or staff look at just whether that impacts the turnout of folks, just because I think people get used to going to a certain place. It becomes habit for them to go to a certain place. Let's say like 5-2 where I live. We're all used to going to the library, and I imagine if we changed the library location to some other place, it would just make it difficult for people. And I don't know if it has changed turnout, but if staff could look at that would be helpful, just at least. Yeah.
Thank you for your suggestion. We do seriously consider that, but we will take great care.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, I truly appreciate that. We are definitely looking for ways to improve the voting experience, because that's ultimately that's what allows for people to show up more often. It makes it easier for them. I've been to the doors, and most folks are just not excited about going out to vote unless it's quick. Like, and I think sometimes as a candidate, you almost have to promise folks, it's going to be about 5 minutes in and out, and that's going to be the voting experience for yourself. And so I appreciate the work in terms of getting to a place where we're looking at, just the whole voter experience. Give people a good incentive to go and vote. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Yang. If you look at the trajectory of both our citywide population as well as the voting population, and the number of precincts, we've gone up dramatically, obviously, in population in the last 10 or so years, while the number of polling precincts have been substantially lower than they were 30, 40 years ago. And so what we've been trying to do is rectify that, because if you look at the problems that arose in 2012, and they were very significant, it's not like people weren't showing up to vote. They were showing up, waiting in line for 2 hours in the cold, and I believe it was even raining at the time, and some people are elderly, and they can't just stand there for 2 hours. We needed to change things, and so for the 2016 elections, not only did we fairly dramatically increase the number of precincts that were available, we also incorporated early voting, satellite precincts, as you're aware, which tripled the early voting totals, and we saw lines decline substantially. So there were previously long lines waiting in line for 2 hours, and now there's not. It's not like the voting population went down. It didn't. It's just that people were voting earlier, and we had more precincts available, so the lines didn't exist. And I really want to commend the elections department for doing all that work, because I think it matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Do we have any further questions for staff at this time? Well, seeing none, I don't think we have any other items, so I'll just move approval of the resolution designating polling places for all precincts for the 2017 municipal elections. All those in approval, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. That item passes. I will note that council members Bender, Wright, Goodman, Johnson, and Kano have also joined us, and we don't have anything else on the agenda today, so we are adjourned. Thank you.